We're back with Dramatic But Valid. Hailing from, well, we're in BK right now, but I'm from Trenton. I'm a Trenton girl. Heather, go ahead.
A little bit of both.
She's a mixture.
Yeah, even my origin of land in the United States is a mixture. I'm from Brooklyn and I'm from Ewing Township.
Yeah, so there you go. And my grandma's from Harlem, so we all around. We just around the city. But anyway, we here with Dramatic But Valid. And today, we're going to go through some stuff, some topics that's going on out there. We can talk about...
First, we want to talk about Chrisean and Blueface. I know that a lot of people feel like their Twitter is being held hostage because of them constantly popping up at the timeline. But I think it's something worth discussing. First, I want to kind of talk about Zeus Network itself. Zeus Network is so interesting. I think that Zeus Network is very aware, obviously, of people's interest in just things that we're not supposed to like, but we have to watch. And the fighting and the drama and the toxic relationships that we're about to talk about, they capitalize off of those situations. And people tune in every Sunday, just like me. I tuned in. I've been tuning in to Zeus since Jocelyn's Cabaret.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Hi, my name is Heather,
Not
and
Jocelyn's.
I've been tuning into Zeus since Jocelyn's Cabaret.
Yeah.
And when I say that, I mean season 1.
Wow. How is
feel
that
better.
How
Like,
is
I feel
that
better
better?
saying that out
You had to get it
loud.
out there, right?
Ooh, I'm a closeted Zeuser. But it's
I am not, but but it's okay.
it's like stuff that you love to hate to love kind of thing. But so it's just a crazy network. Sidebar, I actually know somebody who works on the security guard team, and if you watch Zeus close enough, you can see them. Hi, Timmy. I hope you're doing well.
Keep doing a great job.
Doing a great job breaking up those fights, man. But yeah.
No,
So you've never seen any Zeus?
No, I've seen Zeus through YouTube. I'll go and watch if they have clips up there or do Instagram. But I myself have never just sat down and watched it the shows.
You shouldn't.
I just feel I feel like honestly I'm entertained enough. With the clips that I see that's on Instagram and stuff, that gives me enough. I feel like I don't need to actually watch the show because they show the highlights.
Enough.
They show the highlights. You see when someone's getting whipped out the van or they going at it. But they've been around since 2018. So I mean, I feel like it's definitely growing. Zeus as this network, it's very big and modern.
Allegedly black owned.
Yeah. Oh, it is. It's black owned. I didn't know that. Allegedly.
You never know.
But
right.
We have to do a research until. Yeah, you're right.
Definitely. But I think that it's crazy. It's crazy how much we love to see this toxic stuff. But
but Blueface and let's go to Blueface and Chrisean again. I feel like they're basically, people want to say the new Bobby and Whitney. It's pretty much that, but you just see it on social media now. So it's again, some people say, back with the Bobby and Whitney situation, people saw the downhill, their downhill spiral over the years, but no one did anything. They were making money off their shows and stuff like that. So
iconic show, by the way.
Oh yeah, it was iconic. I mean, come on, there were some great clips from that show.
Iconic. So iconic. But just like Blueface and Chrisean, it's we watched things that we shouldn't have seen. I remember with Bobby and Whitney, something that I remember being so upset about, even now, was watching Bobby, the baby girl, be on that show. Yeah. And then she grew up, and we all know how that kind of turned out. So,
which was really weird too, because the way she passed was very oddly similar to how Whitney passed. They were found literally in the same position in a tub, which is just kind of weird. I always thought that too. I'm I don't know.
Yeah. But there are scenes in that show where you see Bobby, the baby, coming up to the door, trying to talk to them, and they're like, go girl, we got things to do. Yeah. So it's just crazy. Certain things you feel as a viewer, oh my God, should I have seen that? But here we are tuning in every Sunday at 8 o'clock. I
mean, they got, Blueface and Chrisean's family fighting. I mean, it's turned into a whole thing. So it's what are we so desensitized now in a sense where it's we see that and it's like, oh, that's just, that's love. They just crazy in love. Is it crazy in love, or is it something else? Like, maybe it needs to stop. Like, maybe they need a break from each other.
But we wish them well. We wish them well.
Yeah.
Speaking of crazy couples, and so first off, going and riding on the train every single day. Have you seen anything crazy? Like, what's the craziest experience that you ever seen on the train?
Oh my goodness, the craziest experience. There's a lot that comes to, it's like a flash. You get the flashes in your mind.
I saw a couple last week that they were chilling. They were having a great time. Like, really, the guy was rolling up, the girl was drinking, and I'm just like, okay, it's a Friday night. Here they are on the train. I think I was riding the B train. I was going downtown to Brooklyn, and out of nowhere, the guy just sparked the blunt on the train. I'm just like, wow. Like, for me growing up, I didn't really see a lot of like smoking weed on the physical train.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
Was I the only one?
I don't know if that was allowed. Was it?
Like, if you go on the L train now, if you go on the L train, they're smoking on it right now as we speak. Just get on it right now, no matter what car you're on, they're smoking, and it's crazy. Like, never seen that before.
I know.
Until recently.
I think I was on the J train, and I remember a guy came in and he offered me a shot from his liquor from his bottle. He just came and said, "They said you want some?" I was like, "No, that's okay, sir. Thank you." I was like, "I appreciate it though." He probably thought I was stressed. I probably had a stressed look on my face, and that's why he came up to me. But at the same time, I let him be. I said, "I'm okay." But thank you. I appreciate it. It was a nice,
very generous.
It was a kind gesture,
Yeah.
But he was talking reckless too. Like, he was talking a little reckless.
I actually just saw someone do. I swear it was crack. I'm not joking. The guy,
cocaine.
I'm not joking. This was like a few weeks ago. I was actually coming from work, and this guy hops on the train. Swear to God, I think I was on like the NQR somewhere around like Union Square. Smokes it, each pull. He screamed each one, I swear. And it was loud. Like,
gas was hit.
Like, it was like, okay, he's wilding out. And he just exited the train. It was really cool. But I was so happy I witnessed that. I really feel like I got something like productive out of that train ride. And it was really, really cool. I'm really happy I was there.
Yeah. I bet you are.
Yes. I remember one time my aunt, she had this guy come up to her, and he was like worshiping her on the ground and like praying over her. There was just a lot going on. But
see, that's a kind gesture too, though. He probably was warding off them bad spirits. He was warding off the bad spirits.
She said she had flip-flops on and he touched her feet, and it was a lot.
Wow, that's a lot. But
that's where I draw the line.
That's a bit much.
Not my toes, sir.
Not the toes.
So something else I found interesting in the news was about how rats are on the ballot in New York.
Rats should have been on the ballot probably 1975 around that year. It probably should have been on the.
Why y'all ain't put that on 30 years ago?
Been on there, yeah. That good 30 years ago, 30 plus years.
Would you vote for someone who would promise to get rid of the rat problem?
Absolutely. Why would you not? Like, to me, this is the thing. I didn't grow up in New York, but my grandma has plenty of stories about the cats or the rats that look like cats, basically, because they that big. Possums. Yeah, they're like whole creatures. So, like, I feel like if that's been going on.
They smoke crack too.
No, for real. I believe they do. They definitely be on something. But
steroids.
Yeah, and they be chilling like, nothing kills them. I feel like they just be everywhere. But anyway, I feel like, I would definitely vote for someone who had rats on the ballot. Why? Like, because to me, it's like, why would you not? Like, again, why would you not?
Yeah.
Like, would you vote? Go ahead. Would you?
I definitely.
I think it's an important issue.
Yeah, I'm the kind of person when I walk down the street in New York, I like to walk in the street, not the sidewalk. Because when you go down the sidewalk, to your left could be rats coming out to get you, or to your right. And it's a really scary lane to be in. And they don't care, and they will run right into you. And actually, one traumatic experience I did have, although it wasn't a rat, it was a roach.
Oh, boy. They be around, too. You see them in the subways. Whew.
Speaking of sandals.
Oh, no. Don't tell me it climbed on the pinky toe.
No, my big toe.
Oh, no, not the big toe.
And I was in Philadelphia.
That's even worse.
So it wasn't New York's problem that time. But I was waiting for food for someone. I was picking their food up. It was actually, sidebar, a very famous person. And I was doing like an assistant job.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe one day I'll expose who that person was. But a roach just crawled across my big toe. And it was crazy. So it's just too much. And I just can't.
And then you got to think, like, did it lay an egg on your toe?
Probably did.
No.
And that's why I got that rash. Okay, anyway. So, okay, also speaking of public transportation and fighting animals on the toes and stuff, how do you feel about the subway fare going up to $3?
I feel like they keep robbing us. That's how I honestly feel. I feel like, I know they say it's the, offset because it's less riders and now going into the city. So they're like, we need to offset that somehow. But to me, it's like, you can't find that in the budget somewhere else. Like, you got to add on some change. You got to keep adding, because I feel like if they start with it now, it's going to just keep going up. Like, you feel me? If they can get it past
$15.75, like how it is on New Jersey Transit. When I was little, it was so cheap.
Horrible.
Okay, it wasn't so cheap, but it wasn't $15.75.
No, I feel like they go up a quarter every other year. I feel like they do it slowly,
75 cents.
So that way you can't notice it.
But all of a sudden, there you are spending $30 a day just to get back and forth.
Right, plus $8 for parking. Horrible.
You know what's crazy? This is something else I wanted to bring to the board, to the committee. Okay. I am so upset. I know someone else out there knows what I'm talking about, but there was a window when the mobile pass on New Jersey Transit, when they weren't checking it.
Yes.
I don't know what meeting y'all had. I don't know who counted the tickets.
Or who made y'all get on the ball.
Who figured it out. But that's over. It's done.
It's done. They be right there. 2 minutes you get on that train. Here comes the conductor. I said, wait. You're moving swiftly.
And it's crazy. They get real clever, too. Because you know what they said?
What?
They said, over the announcement, they said, and activate the tickets before we get into the tunnel. Before we get into the tunnel. I'm like,
so you can't even say, I don't have service right now. It's like.
Because that was my go-to. Yeah. And then. Hey, it's $15.75. What the hell am I supposed to do? Pay that every day, 2 times a day?
Right. So imagine
5 days a week?
And now you get
before the pandemic?
Right. And now you get to the city and you got to pay over $3 for the subway. So it's like, dang, yo. Dang.
Reparations. And that's how I took it every time a black man would say, go on ahead, baby. I said, thank you so much.
No, they were the one. They would come in clutch. They would.
No, and actually, in our last episode, it's crazy. We were talking about community. The community was looking out because black people were not. I'm sorry, I don't want to get y'all in trouble, but thank y'all.
Yeah.
My brother.
Yeah. I got looked out a couple days.
Several.
Yeah, definitely.
Several. And if you let one of them sit next to you and talk to you for the whole ride,
he might let you free for the next week. No,
make sure you come on that train.
You got to know the train number. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so true. No,
those were the good old days before they were checking it. It was a couple months.
Everything costs more now. Yeah. Everything. Inflation is crazy. Like,
yeah. It's $100 to
you can't even go to the Chicken Shack. I was in Newark the other day and I went to Newark with my friend and we was at the Chicken Shack Jersey Fried. If you're from Newark, you know where that's at. If you go in there, it used to be you can get a 10-piece chicken. We're going to split it for $10. It's $12.50 now. I said, dang. Mm-hmm. I had a $10 bill on me. I said, but I got the $10 bill. He said, it's $12.50, honey. I said, oh. I said, okay. And that $2.50, that could have gone somewhere else. You could have got Arizona with it.
Right. What's the reasoning?
Yeah. Like, it just, there's no reasoning. I'm like, it's still 10 pieces, right? Yeah, but it's $12.50. Dang.
That's how they get you.
You affecting the chicken shacks now too? Like, right. It's like, come on.
It's too much. It's too much. But okay, my last question for Hot Topics.
Okay.
Do you watch White Lotus?
White Lotus? I do not.
You do not?
No.
Oh, we should have talked about that earlier.
I know.
Sorry about that. All right. I just want to say that the season finale was crazy, and it was actually my first episode ever watching, and would highly.
What's the background? What? Give me a little.
Child, I said it was. I watched the season finale. That was my first episode ever watching. I really don't even know.
So you watched it when it wrapped up.
Yes.
Okay.
It was amazing. I think everyone should watch it.
It was a great show.
Yeah.
Never seen it. It was great.
Yeah. We're going to go to commercial break.
Let's talk about prayer and getting your blessing off. That was big prayer.
That was violent.
I know. But no, in all seriousness, though, like, I feel like, you know, nowadays in today's world, maybe a lot of people feel like they sleep on prayer. I'll say they sleep on it, like prayer and going to, you know, get your blessings and stuff like that. You know, it's like, especially with everything going on in the world, like, you got to have some way to get some peace. So that's what I always say.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting to see when we were little. I know for so many of us, we were at church every Sunday. With I had like the little patent leather shoes. I had my tights on. Sometimes I would have the socks with the frillies.
Oh yeah, the frillies. Those were the best though.
Yeah, they were. I really do remember those days. And I feel like for so many people, I can even speak to people in my family. The reason why they left the church was because there's just so much going on within it, so much scandal. It even reminds me of like what's that Tyler Perry show where they have the people
there's
in
a
the
lot.
There's a lot.
There's many.
But there's one in particular that kind of exposes like all of the scandal, all the drama that goes on in the church. But it's like for those reasons, a lot of people have decided to stay away from it. And I think that could be the reason why we don't go to church anymore.
Yeah. And then also, like, you know, I know for me, myself, like growing up when you're a kid and everything, I'll say this, depending on the church you go to or depending on, you know, your choice of religion and everything, sometimes church can be boring. So that's one thing I do remember. So I feel like maybe now, like, some people might have like kind of some pre-thoughts, like thoughts about it, like where they're like, you know, I don't know, like, do I really need to know what's some Bible says that was written 1,000 years ago? What does that have to do with my life today? You know, so like there's kind of that thing too. But I feel like
can I just piggyback on that real
No,
quick?
you good. Go ahead.
You know what's crazy? I think it's so crazy how, just playing devil's advocate, a lot of people will say like, oh, I'm not about to listen to no man in the cloud and no Bible I ain't see written. But then why you listen to the spirituality books that were written by I don't even know who, and put on Amazon, and you ordered for $14.95.
Right. And
you don't even know.
The author could be from we don't know where, Switzerland. We don't know where they're from.
We don't know that person. And I think it's crazy that you would put your faith. I think, and I talked to my mom about this, my mother is a Jehovah's Witness and she's very like devout. She's at her Kingdom Hall every Thursday, every Saturday morning, every Sunday. And growing up, it was just like, wow, like, sis, you doing too much. Like, in my honest opinion, like, I really didn't understand it. There's such a push to be separate from the world, and I'm like, baby, I'm trying to be in it. Like, I'm trying to see what's going on, you know? But something that my mother said was, it's almost like there's a shift from no longer trusting in God to trusting into the universe, which I think is really interesting. Yeah. Like, people don't pray to God. I actually heard someone, I forget what show I was watching. It was like a reality TV show, and they were like, dear universe. I forget who said that. And I feel like for me, someone who doesn't go to church anymore, my issue with not going to church is an issue with accountability. Once you say it out loud, you almost got to think about it. It's like, which is why a lot of people shifted from God to universe, in my opinion.
No, I think it's true. I think also, you know, the idea, like, kind of, you know, again, not only accountability, but just the idea of having that there's a higher force out, you know, something higher out there or higher above than even some people, because some people put themselves on a pedestal pretty high. And I think sometimes, like you said, having to be accountable or to look at it as like, oh, there's another being out there that's higher than me, that has higher thoughts. And, you know, because when you go to church, they tell you, you know, it's like God's thoughts is higher than all thoughts and stuff like that. So some people, it's hard for them to accept that because they feel like, well, you know, what does his thoughts have to do with me? You know what I mean? Or why do I have to look to something or another higher being out there that I can't see or I can't, you know, put my hands on? Some people, you know, they can't grasp that is, you know, for themselves. So I feel like, you know, it just depends. Like, I'm all about, I feel like as long as you have something, I always say this. I say the world is a cold place. So I feel like as long as you have something, whether it be, maybe you don't go to church every every Sunday, or you don't go to church every Wednesday, or Bible study, or this, that, and the third. But as long as you have something that gets you up and lets you keep going in the morning, something to turn to, whether you pray to one God or several gods, whatever it might be, if you have that, like, I feel like that'll sustain you. You got to have something to sustain you. That's what I'm a spiritual person. So I believe in God and everything. I'm still, going to, the meetings and stuff like that on and off. But for me, it's like, again, as long as you have, it's all about you and God, right? It's not about the organization or like the organizational form of religion. It's really about what you kind of make it. If you have that personal relationship with your God, whether it be several gods or gods, or you might not have believe in God, but something, you got to have something. That's,
definitely something, definitely something to like believe in, to have faith in, to hope for, to ease your fears and your anxiety. All that is really great. And I think for me, something I appreciate is also like having things that I'm not supposed to do. Like, I don't mind that every now and again, because even with your parents, like your parents would tell you stuff like, you're not supposed to do that. And later in life, you'll realize like, wow, that was almost like a protection for me. And that really, helped me stay out of certain spaces that really could have hurt me. Yeah. And I think that something I appreciate about like just a traditional sense of spirituality or connection with God is that there's certain things that like, that's a no-no.
Yeah, church gives you values. Like, I feel like that's the biggest thing that, and not just church, but I'll say spirituality, whatever you want to call it, it brings you some values. I feel like
I feel like spirituality has no rules.
I mean, okay, that's interesting. What do you mean by that? Go ahead, say
I feel like spirituality is kind of like, I don't even know what the rules are. Like, what are the rules?
I feel like spirituality, maybe in a sense, in a generic sense, no, there's like no rules, but maybe we all come up with our own rules for our own spiritual journey. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I feel like, if you're going through a spiritual journey and things like that, maybe there's certain things you want to accomplish or you don't want to do, or you want to, pray or get on, pray or speak to, whatever you speak to, light your candles, do what you want to do or whatever. I feel like maybe it's not a rule, but it might be a way you practice your own spirituality. So I feel like, you know what I mean? So maybe they're not rules, but there's ways that you can practice it. Everyone has their own little idea of how they want to practice it. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
How do you feel as women who like one day want to have a family? Because you want to have a family.
Yeah, of course. I want to have kids. Two little Treis, 3 maybe. No, but Treis walking around, I guess. No, I'm getting to that age.
She's ready. That's what I'm almost
there.
Wow, she'll be first.
It's getting serious. No.
How do you feel like almost imagining a family or a traditional family moving forward where no one kind of takes their family to church? And then also like, how do you feel like what's your process with even imagining like a family unit in the future?
Yeah, no, I definitely, like, this is the thing I've always said, like, and I talk, I have a boyfriend, so I talk to my boyfriend about it.
He has a boyfriend.
I have a boyfriend. No, but no.
Say it again, Trei.
I have a boyfriend. It sounds like a remix. No, but when I talk, it's very important. Like, I feel like if you have a partner, you have to talk about that. Like, what do you care? Like, do you want your kids to have a relationship with God, or do you not care to, is that not going to be a main thing that you want to like, pass on to them or kind of encourage them to have for themselves? And I know for me, I feel like it's important for them to at least have their own relationship, like with God. I do feel like that. Like, if they don't want to, I'm not saying they have to read the Bible every day and go to church every Sunday with me, and because I want my kids to be able to like make that kind of decision for themselves, in a sense. Like, I don't ever want to feel like I'm pressuring them to be like, this has to be your main priority in your life, because it might not be for them. We don't know how our future kids are going to be, or what decisions they might want to be, or what interests they might have. So I just feel like, for me, I know I'm always going to have a connection with God. So they might be like, okay, well, mom has a connection with God. If they they ever have questions, of course, I'll talk to them about it and everything else. And yeah, well, if I'm going to, the meetings and everything, then still, or I'm going to church, then still, I mean, yeah, I might bring them with me. But if they're like, oh, Mom, I don't like this, or they're like, I don't really want to go, I'm not going to be like, you need to go. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be like, okay, you don't have to go.
Me and Trey had to go every Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, we had to go.
Thursday.
There was no
Saturday.
There was
Sunday.
No options. Yeah.
So we only had off, did you hear that, Monday and Friday? And you think we was going somewhere on Friday?
My mom
think
said,
so.
This is not a democracy. That's the household I grew up in. But at the same time, for me, I don't want my future household to be kind of run like that. I do want more of discussion to be able to be had with my kids. I want them to feel open to be like, hey, if one of my kids come and say, I don't believe in God. What if one, think about that. What if your kid came to you and said, I don't believe in God,
I'm
Mom.
toxic, y'all.
I know.
Listen,
you saw the
down.
face. You say, right. But how do you react?
How did you get here?
Yeah, but what if your kids
God
really like, I don't believe in that?
Well, let me tell you again.
I want to go,
Genesis 1, verse 1. No, I mean, come on, man. What are you talking about? You don't believe in God. Like,
it's hard,
but
though.
I respect all religious views.
Right. That's a view. That's an opinion. And what if your child believes that? It's like, so what do you do then? You cut them off and say, I'm not going to talk to you no more?
No, we cool. But listen, we got to keep talking about that because I'm trying to figure out what you're talking about.
We need to have some more conversations, though. But it's like... but like when it comes to like my boyfriend, my partner, he's more so like, he's like, oh, I'm not, because for himself, he doesn't believe in like organized religion. He doesn't. He believes that you should be able to have your own spiritual journey and that's how it should go. He believes in the Bible and everything else. But he said, I'm not going to be reading the Bible to the kids and telling them to go read the Bible.
It's almost like they have them in their mind. Did anyone hear that?
It's kind of crazy. That was weird. But no, that's way off. Don't worry, Mom.
Trei, like, tell us, like, how did you get a boyfriend?
Oh, gosh.
In 2022.
Oh, gosh.
Dating app?
Absolutely not.
No. How does one acquire?
No, people, dating apps are cool. I'm not putting no hate towards dating apps, Bumble, Tinder, all of them. They know, but Tinder is not a really dating app. I feel like it's more of a hookup app, but...
She knows from experience.
I don't know from experience.
I've also someone can find me on, like, I was like down in the Plenty of Fish barrel. Like,
okay,
that's
Plenty of Fish.
Embarrassing. I've actually never.
I was on Bumble.
Whoa. Oh,
Bumble. I thought Bumble was
Bumble is like
that's because the girls get to choose
for the Upper West Side girls. You know what I'm saying? Bumble's for the girls that got money. I don't know.
You can start there. Nah. Me and my boyfriend met organically though, like completely organically when I was like 19 years ago, but we were on and off. You know how that go, guys. How you go for 2 years and then you're off for maybe a year and a half and then you come back for another 3 years and I don't know how long it's been and you lose track and then you're like, dang, we might as well probably get married and have kids eventually.
Yeah, that's what I do.
That's how it happens.
I usually do that like 6 months in.
Right. Maybe not so soon, but but
I'm just trying to get down to the point. Like,
I don't know about 6 months.
You don't love me,
people. I feel like you don't know somebody even in a year. I feel like you really
I'm delusional, and that's why here I am.
Because there's stuff that I still like. My boyfriend would come out and say, and I'll be like, "What?" Like and this
it really takes like 10 years,
7 years to know him. So,
yeah, it takes like 10 years.
Yeah. So but if you want to do the dating app thing, that's a way to go. Or you can go and get on one of the reality shows, Love Island. There's Too Hot to Handle.
Bobby, I Love You Purr on Zeus Network. I watched the whole thing.
We ain't getting paid
and
by
I watched
Zeus.
The reunion.
We don't need no Zeus plug-in.
At this point,
you trying to get that sponsor?
No.
I
watch it too much. Yeah, it's really bad. I will be tuning in for Chrisean and Blueface, another relationship I should not be watching. But
I don't know if I can tune into it. Yo.
I'll be tuning in tonight. Actually,
you will?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, great.
Nothing else to watch. Are you kidding me? My other love to hate show is off the air. Keeping Up the Kardashians. Nothing to do. Who am I going to sit and have problems with on purpose?
Never watched the Kardashians. Never watched them. Never probably will. I just had to put that out there.
First episode of season 1 in 19. It's been so long.
What is the show about? That's the biggest question I've always had. That show has been out. It's been out for years. The Kardashian whole production has been out for years. But I'm like, what's it about? Like
vibes.
Okay.
Caucasian vibes.
Because all I ever see is like they sit in a room on the couch with their phones out and they're talking and they're like, what? Like that, you know what I mean? Then they go, and I'm like, okay. And that was the scene. It's like that the scene wraps. And I'm like, okay. So what happens next? Like, you know,
same thing with Zeus. You're just kind of like
you're
watching,
throwing into it, right?
And you don't even know why.
Yeah,
it's scary.
Very scary.
Reminds me of WALL-E, which is the future of where we're going.
WALL-E.
Watching strange things and, you know, advertisements popping up in our eyeballs every second. It's just a really weird world. Anyway, I kind of took it too far. All right, so moving forward, calm down. I just want to wrap up with our dramatic but totally valid feelings.
Valid.
I guess I'm going first because I'm the one who said it. You know, this really popped up on the top of my head, so I'm just going to go with it.
All right.
I feel like something that's so dramatic but totally valid is just our feelings during that special time of the month. Now, I already know that we validate it, but I wish there was less shame. So if I cry, if I, you know, send you a long message, which maybe I did earlier today.
It was sent.
It was delivered. And I just wanted to ask you about your deepest feelings. Maybe it wasn't me and it was my body and my hormones. So I just really feel like it's dramatic but totally valid to, you know, be more in tune with who you are during that very special time. And you shouldn't feel bad next week, which I will.
No, I agree. Do
you cry?
Oh, absolutely. I cry.
Thank you for validating me.
Of course. I lay in a fetal position and I question the very existence of everything. And I just be sitting there and I'm like, why, why, God, why this way?
Yeah.
Like I just, it could have been other ways. I feel like that could, but.
Do you ever send your boyfriend like a really unnecessary, like, I just want to know, like, why did you move your foot away from me last night? Like, sometimes I really want to know.
Right. Why didn't you, when we were driving in the car, why couldn't you just put your hand on my thigh? Like, why you had to just drive regular? Even if we were just going in the car for a 10-minute ride.
And I know you were eating and you were trying to change the volume and work on the GPS, but why couldn't you just hold my hand?
Right. I want to be the passenger princess. I want to be like, how you see the cute little things, the memes, the TikToks, the reels, and they be like, driving and this and the hand on them. I'm like, can you just treat me that way, especially now? Because I'm vulnerable.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
That's the truth. So I completely, that's valid, bro.
Thank you. Thank you for validating me.
Yes, absolutely.
What's your dramatic but valid thought of the week or your feeling that was like, oh my God, I'm being so OD. Like, I'm really dragging it. Here I am again.
Here we go. So you get a new job, right? You got your vacations booked, right? And you start thinking, they're like, okay, we got to see how much time you have, your annual maximum time. Let's say, I'm talking about like 9 to 5 job, guys, okay? So, those for us who still work in the 9 to 5, which is fine. It's good to have a 9 to 5 job. You got that check coming in.
We wouldn't be here if
you hear me?
Have.
Exactly. But anyway, I feel like there should be no annual maximum vacation time or whatever for most jobs. Meaning like, annual maximum meaning like, how you get 2 weeks. Okay, you say you get 2 weeks for the year. What is 2 weeks in a year? Think about that.
To get away from this place.
To get away from your job. 2 weeks is nothing. My mom at her job, because of her seniority, whatever, and like her little position now, she gets 6 weeks for a year. So my thing is this: if you can give 6 weeks off to an employee or whatever, one of the employees, why is it every other employee got to do just 2 weeks? Why I got to work at your company for 30 years to get the 6 weeks? You had this.
Capitalism. And the answer is they want you to be hooked into their... Oh, we're going to get fired.
Calm down.
Let me calm down.
Reel it in. Reel it in.
They want you to dedicate your life.
Yeah. No, that's in
real life.
And they don't care about you, And I guess like we all know this, but for me this week, that's just something that came to mind. Because, when you're planning your trips and you're getting excited for the next year and you're like, okay, I'm going to go here. I want to, I want to go to the I want to go to Jamaica. I want to try here. I want to go to Puerto Rico. Yeah, this is real. Specific. Yeah, this is real. Yeah, because it really makes you mad. Because like when you're booking it and you're like, okay, I can't stay there for 10 days because I got to go here for 4 days.
Because I only got 2.5 days and 3 hours.
Right. And you might not even get that time straight up because they say your time got to accrue. That's the worst word you want to hear. If they tell you your time has to accrue and you has to build up for you to take off, that's a red flag job. That's all I got to say.
Trey, get it off your chest. Where you want to go?
I was mad.
Where you want to go? Where you want to go?
Where I want to go? I want to go everywhere. I'm trying to travel and work a job and make some money on the side. That's it. That's basically it.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and wrap up.
But do you think that was valid? I mean, come on.
Oh, sorry.
Dang, you didn't validate me. You see how she did me on?
Sorry, I thought it was...
She said my point was there was no point.
No, we had to wrap up because of the time. No, you're totally valid, girl. Of course. I don't even want to work at all. What you talking about?
Okay.
I'm trying to lay on a rock.
Yeah.
And vacation in the forest somewhere.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, thank you so much, Trey. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too, Heather.
Thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening.